the state of Kenyan politics is very sad. It is very sad because we always seem to be on the cusp of something very great, but until politics happens. And now there's going to be a cabinet reshuffle.
For sure.
Yeah, there will be a cabinet reshuffle because Baba's men have to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, after his interview, Jana.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I feel like there's some people in ODM who are mark timing, who are not happy with what's happening.
Correct.
But they're mark timing because there's no IEBC.
There's no way out.
There's no way out at the moment because there's no IEBC. Because if you resign right now, you're out in the cold.
Yes.
Like who?
Sifuna
is one of them, for sure.
Sifuna has not been comfortable with this whole thing.
For sure.
Another one is Babu Owino.
Salasia.
Salasia is out.
That guy, just watch him. That guy is one of the most brilliant politicians you'll ever encounter. Anakuanga na ujinga mob, but ule jamaa has a political brain. Like, ule jamaa in his constituency, he's already ensured he's going to be voted for because he's building colleges. Like he's working for his people, and him akitukanana yu tukanana based na facts za ukweli zenye anaambiana za nini. So him is secured his legacy. That is one guy people have to fear because alafu pia tu ile influence akonayo to this younger generation because wana resonate na yeye ni age yao.
There is no one who wants to build something sustainable. Now, the person who has something close to that is Okia. But already, from the moment he announced that he's creating an exploratory committee to run for president in 2027, I've not seen activity towards that. Because you have to fundraise, you have to build momentum. You cannot
wanapiga campaign Twitter hao. Wanapiga Twitter huko wanakutananga wanaongea. They actually post photos wameenda siji pamoja kufanya.
And that is the problem, the quagmire that we have not solved. The one solution that I have that I think might work, this has to be done gradually. It's not something that can be done overnight. We were not able to take advantage of that Gen Z revolution, unfortunately, because that was a moment when we could have had a big shift. But we've allowed these people to regroup and bring us back to where we were. But I think what can happen at this point for that shift to occur significantly is to have a very powerful third force to organize in such a way that even if they do not necessarily win, I think it will be very difficult for a third force to win in 27. But even if they do not win, they have enough votes to call for a runoff. Because now when you're calling for a runoff, that means, let's say if it's Okia, who's the third force.
I'm Andrew Kimani.
Or Andrew Kimani, let's say.
From last week.
Yes.
He's actually here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
On YouTube. Yeah, welcome,
yes.
Andrew. Yeah.
But let's say if it's Okia, and let's say Okia gets 10% of the vote. Now Okia can actually go and negotiate for something in order to support this side or that side for the runoff because he has this 10% and he can do that. So I think that's what we need to work on until we have someone who will be able to create a runoff between the two front runners. Then from there, we can now start thinking of a third force who can win an election.
Who are the two front runners?
Raila and Ruto. Here's the other dirty secret.
Okay, so
here's the other dirty secret.
Say what a campaign pamoja.
Omosh, here's the dirty secret.
Okay.
I want to tell, like my people from Luo Nyanza. Do not get too comfortable because we are what month are we in? March. What year are we in 2025?
Correct.
2 years is a very, very long time.
It's very long.
This is the pattern of what's gonna happen. With this broad-based government, ODM members will get more cabinet positions. You're already seeing they're getting positions in parliament.
Budget
they
committees,
will get
these committees.
Yes, they will get PS positions, they will get diplomatic positions. It's a lot of things that are being shared. And then once Baba Shah said to watu wake, he's gonna decide that all my ideas are not being followed. And therefore, I have decided I am leaving. Yes, this coalition is not gonna last.
Okay.
So that's why I'm telling people from Luo Nyanza, before you start singing Ruto praises, be patient.
Hakuna kuimba Ruto tosha, Ruto tano.
No, be patient. Hiki tu haitadumu.
This is a matter of convenience.
At least bana, we get even a road bana, even some water that is running.
So maybe you guys might get something.
Omosh, hapo kwa barabara na maji, hiyo si Ruto, hiyo ni MPs wenu.
Mika,
Mika,
we have tried. As guys, our roads are not even at the MP level. They are the governor level.
But wacha nikwambie, you have the best roads. Mlifanya nini? Mlikasirika Kibaki ameiba kura mkachimba barabara tigari za Kikuyu zisiende Uganda kufanya biashara.
I don't know who you're talking about because my region.
No, that is what happened. Kwani ushago kwetu tukienda sisi upitia Nyanza. Si Nyanza utalilima barabara.
Okay, but me I'm talking about sisi huko, sisi ni Suba.
No, but let's remain on topic.
Yes, like you're right, Mika, you're right.
Yeah.
Development, you cannot push it on the national government. If your MP doesn't do stuff,
but Mika, there are some roads, to be honest, and this is something that I learned the hard way. Uko kwetu, and when I say kwetu, I'm not even talking about regular Nyanza. I'm talking about the Nyanza side of us guys who are at Suba, where everything we move with is on the lake. A lot of those roads are actually designated at the county level, and because they are county level, then the MP cannot get into it until that designation switches. So, funnily enough,
governor.
Okay. Anyway, Sisi,
because the national roads in Nyanza are good.
Yeah.
That's being fixed. Our roads that are being fixed now. Guess who's fixing them? Crazy as it sounds. National government. Office of the President.
Now.
Yeah, it's Kenha that's making roads. The roads
they're the guys who now have needed, and that was after Nani came.
But then barabara nayo mnafaa kuthank Uhuru. One thing that he made sure that was developed in that country was infrastructure and roads. He made sure. He made sure, and those are his projects that zinaendelea kuisha saa hizi za Ruto.
Sijakata,
Ruto anadandia tu.
Sijakata, because I'm telling you, he came and nini. So you're right, anadandia ma3, but sijakata, that's office of the president.
But now I think as Kenyans, we also have to learn. And actually before that, let me read a few comments here. Up I can see Washuka Mwai, karibu sana to the OneMicShow. Washuka says, I know some people from our generation who married people from a different tribe and were disowned by their parents. Yes, I mean this to a certain extent, it still
happens quite a bit.
Yes, it still happens.
Baltimore.
Yes, it happens still quite a bit. But I think the issue is the fact that like you see, like even Kenyan kids who are growing up in the US, they are, when it comes to relations with Kenyan politics, they are being groomed based on ethnicity in as much as they've been detached from Kenya, but you'll still see they're still being groomed using that lens of ethnicity. So even the calculation, even the calculations that Ruto is making for 2027, because he knows the mountain is gone, he's banking on Baba's support. I think he's truly banking on Baba's support in 2027. Personally, I don't think that coalition is gonna last.
But Ali, you don't think amesoma hiyo gazeti?
So you know, there are certain things that they know and there are certain things that are unpredictable. He knows right now he needs Baba.
This is
because without Baba,
so he's dealing with the cards he's dealt with, what he has, he's holding in hand.
Right now, Baba akimtoka, you know, like even if he wins a guy like Kalonzo, Ruto is fried. He's cooked, you know, like without Baba. Baba right now is the one who's kind of giving him some legitimacy. You see, when these rallies in Nairobi, Ruto never used to do rallies in Nairobi. He never used to do rallies in Nairobi. Now he's going to Kibra. Now he's going to Mathare. to do rallies. He's going to places where he never used to.
But you know, he didn't have that user-friendly welcomeosity.
Yes.
Because those were all Baba zones.
Those were hostile. Those were hostile
Yes.
spaces. But now Baba has given him the permission to be able to do that. And this to me is a worrying trend, because I had honestly believed the Gen Z revolution had turned around everything. But now, like I said, we have to wait for a by-election to happen.
Unajua nini?
Yeah.
Ninja. Issue ninja.
Absolutely. Kuna njaa.
So
I agree
issue
with you.
ninja. As much as hawa vijana walikuwa wamechoka na nini, the thing is, Baba alienda kaongea na huyu jamaa, na sasa hivi hawa vijana kuna kipiga kelele kizuri hivi, mfuko iko heavy. Hawajalala njaa.
Walipandishwa chopa.
Wanaachiwa sahii, wanakula. So unajua ninja ni sahii, they will sing to the tune that's feeding them right now.
Yes, and you see,
if we didn't take advantage of when that Jay-Z maandamanos were happening, because but it's a volatile situation. Unaona vile Baba na Ruto wako na hiyo relationship ile ya wako kaa bibi na bwana mwenye wamechoka lakini lazima wakejia watoto. It's the same relationship with the people here. The citizenship sieti pia nika imelegea tu imetulia. All it needs is just a...
Because I'm also looking at, like, now, for examples, you know, even after that the Mungano, the MOU and signed out, but, you know, it's the hostility with which, you know, Baba anapokea, like, you know, last week, I think after that, when he went in Kisii, you know,
he got a very hostile reception.
Very hostile reception.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a time he had gone to Kiambu, lakini anajaribu kutetea, anaulizwa, anaambiwa, but you kwanza technically anaambiwa you joined our enemy. Unaona? So what I'm saying is, and even on the ground, so when I'm saying on the ground, like, you know, when I talk to people, and I talk to my mom, and I talk to my relatives over there, like, hata tutaki kusikia hiyo jina ya Kasongo. Hatutaki kusikia, because, you know, you can tell guys are fed up. But that's on the ground, and guys talking about that.
Yeah, but now you see with Baba, like I said,
and this has nothing to do with Baba. Like, when I'm saying this, guys are just fed up with Kasongo.
So, but I think, you see, even when Uhuru was president, there was a lot of people who are fed up, you know, like 2 years before elections, but somehow towards election, watu wanajua kupanga watu walipangwa na wakapangika, you know, like it always happens. So right now we're in that moment.
Which election?
Even 2022.
Okay.
But both elections, people were fed up with Uhuru in 2017. You know, like people were fed up with him.
Yeah, but
first term, second term, but then for some reason, you know, like these things were rearranged, and now you see the other calculation that also Ruto is making is he's banking on that support from Baba strongholds. And he's also banking on support of the Somali community.
Northeastern.
Yeah,
lakini no, like Imeruka.
So hapo ndo anajaribu, he's putting a lot of his eggs there, but Northeastern has always been very timid. They always have people on both sides. They always have people on both sides.
Northeastern pia kuna vile sahi wanapigana na leaders wao huko pia wanasumbua wanakapata.
And then, you know, another interesting thing in Northeastern, something that passed off the radar that people are not talking about because we're talking about vetting, is that there was a lawsuit that was filed against the 2019 census.
I've seen that.
Yes. And they had said that they were undercounted. So me initially I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense.
Because in 2009, they were like 160.
So in 2009, they sampled a number of constituencies where people reduced by like 20-30% from 2009
to 2019.
To 2019.
No, you're saying 2009. But
yeah,
2009.
From 2009 to 2019.
A reduction of about 60,000.
Yeah, their numbers reduced. And by the way, this is the community that has the most kids.
60,000?
No.
Walihama.
No, but your 60,000 is in a constituency that has 150,000 people. So now, let me tell you something.
On average, a family has about 5 kids.
Five is on the lower side.
But that's like
average.
The
average.
5 is on the lower side.
Average is about 5.
But I think this is something that people are not paying attention to because what the court ruled is that there has to be a recount. I don't even know how a census recount is done. But here's the thing. One thing that is clear, that had always even been clear during Moi's time, there was a lot of undercounting there. Some of it due to logistics and some of it due to mischief.
Of course.
So this one for 2019...
I think more due to mischief.
Yeah, so this one 2019, I strongly believe it was cause of mischief. Because with population, you're getting allocation, money allocation.
Yes.
And now also the number of registered voters. I am telling you, when it comes to the next census is gonna be in 2029.
Yes.
Here's my prediction, and I could be wrong, but this is what I feel. Number one community in Kenya. Mnataka kujua ni gani? Drum roll.
Wasomali.
Number one, no, it's not gonna be Wasomali. Number one community in Kenya is gonna be the Luyas. By the way, Waluya ni wengi sana. Waluya, na Waluya pia, they get multiple kids.
Nalikuwa nataka kusema hao pia wanakauntiwa.
Yes. So if a genuine census is done,
correct, yes.
if a genuine census is done, I think Waluya watakuwa number one, and believe it or not, Wasomali watakuwa number two.
I'm not going. I cannot debate that.
Yes.
Wasomali wako wengi, and then interestingly enough, you know what? They are everywhere. Hakuna mahali hautapata Wasomali.
So what has happened is that zamani, a lot of them were not in Nairobi, and even those who came to Nairobi went to specific areas, places.
Not anymore.
But now I think people are now seeing them everywhere.
They
in
are
Kilimani,
everywhere.
they're seeing
business,
them. Yes,
my friend.
You know all the places where the Wahindis were before. They have taken over all of those things. That's what I'm telling you. Uko mashinani.
No,
they uko kwetu. I'm telling you, wamechukua kila kitu.
And then now you're seeing an educated generation, because kumbuka previously, you know, a lot of these people who say we should go back to 8 provinces tend to be very selfish, and most of the time utakuta ni watu kutoka Nairobi and in the environs. Remember, like even national schools, wachana na these new ones, the original national schools, almost all of them were in Nairobi. And surrounding counties. So and some parts of Rift Valley. Nairobi Central Rift Valley.
If they were to give, walikuwa nasema they were only going to give one to every province. Na ilikuwa ina take time. I think Yala was the only national school outside of your side ya Western.
Was it Yala or Maseno?
Yala.
Okay.
Ilikuwa almost Yala na Maseno, which was the national, which was the first.
I thought Maseno ndo ilikuwa national school.
Yeah, I thought Maseno. So Maseno was the only one.
What about Cardinal Otunga?
No,
that wasn't a national school.
No, that was a private school.
Maseno, and then the next one on the list ilikuwa Sisi, Kakamega. So ilikuwa Sisi, but then Sisi alikuwa anataka kupatia mademu wake hapa walikuwa semaga kwa na demu huko girls. So there was always a toss up in Western, ni gani atapatia, hizi patia zote mbili. So there is a toss up between us, Mukumu girls na Bunyore girls. So your national school, awarding national schools was a very controversial thing.
So
it was actually a campaigning thing.
You're awarding national schools, distribution of hospitals, even when you look at where roads were and everything. And that's a reason why, I mean, despite the fact that there is indeed, you know, like corruption in the counties, but then a lot of counties that never had a chance, you're now seeing things opening up
because of devolution.
Because of devolution
has sped up development in that
correct
country.
Yes.
Well,
Even despite the corruption.
Yes.
Even despite the corruption. And one of those things that that the NADCO report is advocating for, because NADCO report is kind of like an upgrade or another version of BBI, is they want to entrench. See, right now there is the CDF, the NGCDF, and then there's I think the Affirmative Action Fund. Yeah, there's the Affirmative Action Fund, and then now they want to introduce a ward development fund, ipatiwe MCAs, you know, to develop their their wards. Yeah, so they want to entrench that. And you see, what normally happens is that the way they entice all these politicians to back this thing is when Awambia will give you more money. Will give the counties more money. In fact, even that's what already Baba is talking about. The counties are gonna start getting more money, and then now even MCAs are gonna be getting
a bit more chance.
Yeah, they're gonna be getting a bit more chance for development.
I can see why that is in play, Ali, because how do you measure a politician's performance?
Now, here's a problem of that money. Here's a problem of that money, Mika. Unaona, CDF, the model came from India. And the way originally CDF was good, whereby the member of parliament, there was a committee in the constituency,
which was a local committee.
It's a local committee, so the MP doesn't even touch that money. Yekazi yeke ni oversight. I think I like that model better than having the MP get the money
and then yende na distribute.
Then you know distribute. That's
I
what's
totally
become
agree with
problematic.
you.
Yeah. So
no, you agree with you. Maybe
the original CDF worked.
What I'm saying is, the original CDF worked. But what I'm saying is, I can understand why they want more money. Mpaka ifike councillors pia wako na kapesa kanaonekana ka development fund kanaonekana hao ndo wana lead, because how you measure politicians working in Kenya is through tangible things, projects. Ndio mijengo. Alijenga kitu, alijenga soko, alijenga barabara, alijenga that's the only thing you do. And what do people use? How do they measure it? With quantity and quality. Quality and quantity, sindio? Ikwe mzuri na zikwe mingi, like ikwe in abundance. So you can see why they want that money to go to them. Now that's a good idea for them politically kuonekana wanafanya kazi. But sasa shida ni ikifika huku kwingine pale mtu ana moyo pesa ingie kwa mfuko. That's where the problem comes from.
The other bigger problem is that because these guys are so close to the ground, CDF is only like I think 1 or 2% of the national budget. So the other big amount that's in Nairobi, people are not paying attention to that. So you see the problem with what MPs are doing with this CDF money, they will focus on projects that will get them re-elected. Unaona saa projects zingine that are under the ground, like maybe a sewer line, hiyo haitaonekana. You cannot label a sewer line and say Muhammad Ali Nyali. But if you build, if you build a school, even if there's no teachers, but you built a school and you stuck your name there,
it's that white elephant.
Everybody passing by will see it. Muhammad Ali amejenga school hapa.
Yeah, ukitengeneza stage, ukitengeneza mama soko hapo,
yes,
uko na pale pa kutandika vitu zao za kuuza.
Yes.
Hizo
zote zinaonekana. But then there are other tangible things that the constituencies and the counties need that are not being done. Because the MPs are saying, we don't bother with those because it's not going to help me get re-elected. So I think that's part of the problem. The other part of the NADCO report that many may disagree with me, but I think it may be a better thing moving forward, is the idea of having like the person who comes second to be the official leader for him to have a seat in parliament. Like the way it was before. Like you lose an election, like when Uhuru lost in 2002, he was already a member of parliament. So he naturally went to parliament and he led it from there. But because of this new format, whereby if you're number two,
official leader of opposition,
yes, so everything is unofficial. So if there's an official way of doing things whereby we have shadow, like ministers, I think that may be a more effective way of making sure we don't start having these handshakes again, whereby there's a structure in there. These people are getting paid to do what they're doing, and they can check each other from in there. But now this idea of handshakes,
power. Kidogo kakufurahisha ego.
Yes, na ndo hivyo hapo sasa and I think that's what maybe might need to happen. Then the idea of having an official prime cabinet secretary, I don't know whether they want to make him a prime minister. Now you see in a situation where Okia gets 10%. And then now he's to throw support to one of the two candidates. So now a guy like Okia, if the candidate he supports wins the runoff, then Okia goes and becomes the prime cabinet. So we now have our person in the inside. Looking at things from the inside. So there's a check and balance from the inside, and there's an official check and balance from the outside. Uno Mike.
Comments. No, I was just gonna say the comments. They are coming in thick, hot, and fast.
Apa James Olengo. No, ni James Olongo. Anasema
James.
Okay, James.
James.
Okay, James Olongo. Tell us how that name is pronounced, or maybe you have to call us. Yeah. And again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Anasema barabara ni kazi ya national government. Of course, there's a certain portion that goes to the counties. And then Adhiambo anasema just finished eating dondo, just finding out Raila was abducting. And then... okay. Tell us, please, explain to us what that's about. And then Adisa anasema just basing it on one of the comments I read. And then James Olongo anasema hata sinja Gen Z wenyewe walikuja ati wako leaderless, ilibidi wapangwe. And then Washeke anasema Kenyans will get amnesia come 2027 and start singing Kasongo tunes.
2027 is far.
Yeah, and then Washeke is surprised. Washeke is surprised at Somalis having 5 kids in this economy.
And that's
normal.
On the low end.
No.
That's on the low end. That's on the low end.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, and then Washeke, they have a support system, and there's a way that these Jamas live. I mean,
you know, they have the strongest insurance. Nasi insurance ya kulipa premiums. The insurance is the community.
Yes.
The insurance is the community, and that's the strongest kind of insurance. So they may not even necessarily be very rich.
Ali,
yeah.
Have you realized watu wa Nairobi wanazanga mtoto mmoja alafu anaenda uchaguzi na sema nyinyi mnazaana sana kwa tikore, but Kenya realize ni watu uchaguzi sana juu kuna community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you know, like 1 + 1 is greater than 2 when mko pamoja. You know, like ukiwa na wani yako huku kando na wani yako huku kando, hiyo 1 + 1 it becomes less than 2. And that's what people, I think, need to come to terms to. Yeah. You see, even a lot of these projects they're doing in Nairobi, they're not even getting loans from banks. Wanashikana 100 million shilling project, wanashikana 10 people, we toa 10. And that's how, and it's based on trust.
Yeah, sometimes, and they're not hawatagongana.
Yeah, sometimes hata wao wenyewe hawajuani, but it's just based on trust.
Yes.
Yeah, that
so there's also that discipline you're talking to us, you're telling to like if you're Muslim, hiyo mambo ati unaenda kugonga mtu.
So okay, so with Muslims issue moja ni riba, interest. Yes. So that's one area that we try. We're not necessarily 100% successful because this one
you're better than Okuyos.
But then you're like, from when you're very young, this thing has been put in your mind that achana na hii kitu, like riba. So alone is considered a form of charity. So you're not allowed to profit from giving someone a loan. So if it's a business, so let's say unataka kuanza biashara and you don't have the financing, I come in as a partner. Not ati nakupatia loan alafu nakwambia nirudishie na 5% interest. So the idea is for there to be justice in the community, whereby I'm giving you the money, but then we are sharing, we have an agreement on how we're going to share. So that wealth is kind of shared. And if the business goes south, hata pia mimi, like siwe peke yako naumia. Hata pia mimi naumia. So those are there's certain things, like I'm not even gonna say necessarily culturally, I'm gonna say theologically, because there are certain things about Somali that they're unique to them as Somalis, an ethnic group. Then there are certain things that are unique to them and that are unique to Muslims, even beyond the Somali community, because there's certain things within all different communities or Islamu, you'll still see certain cultural aspects within those cultures, and then kuna few other things where like you'll see a merger. But now where the Somalis have been successful, they have tried very much to incorporate the Islamic principles when doing business. And interestingly enough, for a long time, a lot of people felt easy rules will make us uncompetitive in the modern world. But for some funny reason, out of all Muslim communities in Kenya, Somalis are the ones who've really tried to implement the Islamic economics in the way they do business. And out of all Muslim communities in Kenya, I would comfortably say they're the most successful in business. Yeah, so it has worked for them. In fact, now, like those other Muslim communities where people were saying that it will make us uncompetitive, now people are being told, look at Somalis, they're implementing these principles of profit sharing rather than interest, of avoiding, like making a profit out of giving people loans, and it's one way or another, it's working.
Yeah, they don't have alcohol in their businesses. Like their restaurants, they don't sell alcohol.
Yes.
Then they even, like, let's say, say Naivas, if it's Somali owned, you're not going to find alcohol in that particular Naivas. You may not even find pork being sold. You know, there are certain things hautapata.
So and then
guess what? It does not shake their bottom line. Bado wanafanya business na watu wenda huko.
The other interesting thing that Somalis did that other Muslim communities also felt, we are not going to be competitive if we start doing this, is integrating prayer places in their places of business. Because now Islamu, our prayer schedule is very demanding. It's not once a week like most other faiths. It's 5 times a day. So ukienda katika any Somali premise, you'll find a prayer space. That big mall in Isli, the new mall BBS, they have a very, very big, it's not even a prayer space, it's a full mosque at the very top. Now the interesting thing, now you find prayer places in Sarit Center. Now you find prayer places.
It's become chic.
Kuna hii mall iko na river. Is it a river or a lake or what is it called? This mall in Karen. Not TRM.
Yeah, Karen.
Yeah, inaitwa ni the hub.
Oh, the hub.
Is it called the hub?
I don't know.
I know there's a hub.
There's one that was kind of empty that I went to. It has like a lake.
Yes,
and
it has like a thing. Yeah, I think.
And I think a Ferris wheel or something. I think it has a Ferris wheel.
I'm not sure if it's hub.
I don't remember. Someone in the comments will let us know.
Yeah.
Ethiopia, I was surprised to find now they're also doing that when these spaces are not specifically, Muslim spaces. But yeah, so it's quite interesting to see what's happening. Let me continue reading the comments here.
Hames Olango, usipite hiyo. Hao Wasomali hawana vitambulisho.
Yeah, and then let me see.
Lizmin Roya.
Yeah, hapa Washeke anasema it's such a shallow way of grading MPs and MCAs, and I think that's talking about hizo ma CDF na nini. And then
mnanisikia hadi ile model ulikuwa unasema ni waterfront.
Hiyo hapo basi waterfront.
Karen.
Yeah. And it was kind of dead, but
it's been
and then sasa I can see Washeke anasema Kenyans will get okay. I think I already read that comment. And then Jame Solongo anasema how Somali hawana vitambulisho. I don't know exactly what you mean. Just tell us. Fafanua.
Lakini hapo Lizmin amemcorrect.
Yeah, anasema they actually have wamekuwa wakipewa and then Slay anasema yes, no more handshakes. And then hapa Washeke anasema not me Alibadawi, it's Washuka. I can't remember what the comment was, but Washeke and Washuka sound the same. Isn't that the same name? Washeke, Washuka, it's the same name.
Nope.
Yeah, they sound the same.
Nope.
The WhatsApp group is the same. I mean,
it's the same family.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, Meru, Embu, Mount Kenya,
Wacheni kuguza,
munaguza. It's the same thing.
Munaguza.
Is there difference? Oh, ama difference ni wale
usiguze. Haya, hapa
Digivia onawe.
Toyota Hilux ile kona sijui nini.
Esther Mulusa hapa has a very interesting comment. Anasema bursaries used to be handled by bazaars at the school level. The bazaars and and the deputy principals of administrations would identify poor students and give them school fees waivers during colonial times up to early Moi era for MPs and other politicians to commandeer nurseries and bursaries. I meant nurseries. I think she meant bursaries. And employment, a real travesty of justice. I agree. You know, like I honestly don't think members of parliament should be handling those things.
No, they shouldn't be touching.
I've seen in constituencies like Nyali, you know, what wanaenda wanapanga line ni kama wanaomba. Me, I think, you know, like these kids should be identified and that money should just go straight to school.
And you know, the thing is that the people who are down Mashenani at the local, so I like that thing about the ward, the MCAs at the ward level, but the problem is it's also there's so much abuse with this stuff. Like, who's going to keep them in check? Because right now the MPs are also not being kept in check. So everybody assumes that this Jama is going to do the right thing, but hawako kwa ground. Before kama ile committee, they were elected from within that community.
Yes.
Lived in
people
the community.
Know them,
They knew the problems of the community. So they knew they need a borehole. They need a new class. They need a dispensary. They need, a health center. They knew all of those things and they worked towards that. And that's why those things were working. Now that it has been switched where, some guy in Nairobi comes in with their pickup truck, or should I say with their 4x4 Prado, once every 2 weeks, and decides, okay, this is a good project that I can look like I'm throwing money to. And then pia hapo kwa bursary, the local bursary. If you don't know anyone in the MP's office, guess what? Haumi number.
Unambulia patupu. Unambulia patupu. And I think that's a problem of letting MPs handle bursaries. Apa Esther Mulusa is further saying that before that Washeke I think is complaining about how people are confusing a name. Anasema this happens quite often, people calling me Washuka, Washera. Okay, sawa. Na amesema tusiguse Murima. And then Esther Mulusa hapa anasema
Murima tutagusa.
The tight clan Somali culture where the extended family sticks together in business and cultural life helps them succeed just like Indians. That's very true.
Correct.
So I think other communities used to have this, but
I'd venture to say Asians. But it's not only Indians. It's Asians. What I have seen here, it's Asians. And I think for us as Kenyans, we're not exposed to the other people from Asia in Kenya.
Yes.
But here we see them.
Yeah, we see them
the
here.
Vietnamese, watu wanashikana.
The Filipinos.
Unakumbuka Millennium.
Yep.
Unajua wase walikuwa family moja, na what they would do is they would identify a business, wanakuja pamoja watu 5, wanatoa hela kila mtu. Once your business has succeeded, guess what? The next person in line in this 5 picks a business, and all these people put money behind it, and they go with it, and after a while the next person,
and they grow each other.
And they grow each other.
Yeah, but you see the thing is with other Kenyan communities used to have this, but I think colonialism did something. And then it got people so divided. So it's very difficult to recreate it and bring it back to where it was, because that's what's gonna get people moving, that unity. Because you cannot, Western societies have survived on hiyo binafsi because they're sitting on history of stolen wealth, hundreds of years of free labor, like stolen resources, which they've inherited over generations. So you can have, people survive on trust funds and individual family money because they're sitting on generations of a lot of stolen wealth. So that's just the other thing that people need to learn. Where, we've gone south, east, west, but the question
good
is
vibes and good times.
Is hii tukirudi kwa hii development tour ya Ruto, what exactly is it that we are missing as people in the diaspora? Because it seems people get in line so fast, mashinani. Because after the Gen Z, we were like, no way, this can't happen. But we are seeing it happen. We are seeing those big political rallies.
People are hungry, man.
People are hungry,
but it's going back
people
to
are
this
jobless, because also understand, hakuna majobs.
But unajua kitu moja, wacha tuseme ati hakuna majobs. Many people are asking this, okay, after the Gen Z maandamanos, now what next? Unaona kulikuwa na hiyo vacuum, hakuna nini inajulikana, so there's been a lot of limbo. People usually, it's human nature to go back to familiar grounds, to go back to familiarity. So people might decide, okay, turudi pale tumezoea, but doesn't necessarily mean that they are settled kabisa. But again, it gets to a point also pia mnachoka, life has to go on. So amtashinda tu kwa maandamano mode the whole time. Kuna time utafika tu mahali maisha iendelee, watu na maisha. But let's not forget some of these crowds, mingi ni watu wamelipwa wameenda kwa hizo crowds. And then we've seen the violence that has been following those crowds, with the goons who have been paid wakibia watu kwa barabara. So pia kuna hiyo hapa inakam. So they might do their tours, they might talk, but this government is the gift that keeps on giving. They will shoot themselves in the toes pretty soon.
Not pretty soon. They've been doing that.
They've been doing that multiple times.
They've been doing a very good job.
So munasema December wafiki?
I don't know about December.
No, there'll be a cabinet reshuffle.
Watamaliza term yao.
No, I'm saying that. Okay, when I'm saying that, I'm saying sasa now our political goodwill of we are together.
Hatujui watakosana siku gani, wanaweza kosana leo, wanaweza kosana 2026, 2027. Watakosana tu at some point.
Like Ali said, Raila supporters, be on standby.
Okay, to be ready.
Just be ready.
Yeah.
Because anything can happen.
Get ready.
Sumwana Kalonzo pia ameanza kuenda state house huko na wanasema anahukiwa in, anaingizwa box. So anaweza feel jealous, huyu amekuja, relax.
You know, the state of Kenyan politics is very sad. It is very sad because we always seem to be on the cusp of something very great, but until politics happens. And now there's going to be a cabinet reshuffle.
For sure.
Yeah, there will be a cabinet reshuffle because
checking out.
Baba's men have to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, after his interview jana.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I feel like there's some people in ODM who are mark timing, who are not happy with what's happening.
Correct.
But they're mark timing because there's no IEBC.
There's no way out.
There's no way out at the moment because there's no IEBC. Because if you resign right now, you're out in the cold.
Yes.
Like who?
Sifuna
is one of them, for sure.
Sifuna has not been comfortable with this whole thing.
For sure.
Another one is Babu Owino.
Because he has been quiet.
Babu was out a long time ago.
And by the way, Babu,
he was original out guy.
That's a man to watch. That's a man to watch, especially when it comes to Nairobi County.
Babu Owino, Sifuna, ule mluyo, ule mumias, ule mlevi.
Salasia.
Salasia is out.
That guy, just watch him. That guy is one of the most brilliant politicians you'll ever encounter. Anakuanga na ujinga mob, but ule jamaa has a political brain. Like, ule jamaa in his constituency, he's already ensured he's going to be voted for because he's building colleges. Like he's working for his people, and him akitukanana yutukana na base na facts za ukweli zenye anaambiana za nini. So him is secured his legacy. That is one guy people have to fear because alafu pia tu ile influence ako nayo to this younger generation because wana resonate na yeye ni age yao.
If you remember, there was a video that came out maybe last week. Alikuwa nazushia the former sports CS.
Nani Salasia?
Yeah. Alikuwa na mtusi.
Which one?
Is it a Chesa? The guy who had been found guilty. No, not guilty.
That's the guy who even played us up, even Vegas. Not Vegas. Yeah.
That guy. Chesa.
Yes.
Something like that.
That guy. He's the one who was Nini there.
Yeah. Rashid Chesa.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Walikuwa na tusiana. Well, but you see, I'm in agreement with Mika. But I think I was going to point out the taint that Babu has is that DJ Evolve incident.
Yes.
Well, Yes.
He does. Okay.
But
Now,
it's not. It's
now,
tainted.
now,
It's not.
I'm gonna take Mika's.
tainted.
I'm gonna
It's
take
not.
Mika's perspective here because I've learned tainted. Yes, in our view.
But I guess in our view,
In our
but
view,
in Kenya,
yes.
it's a totally
But
But
different.
now when you go on the ground,
Totally different.
No one remembers that.
Yes, I mean, I agree.
No one,
Yes.
no one remembers that. Ukienda huko Embakasi saizi.
That's the caveat.
Nobody
That's the-
knows who Evolve is.
That's a caveat.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a caveat.
Yes, you're true.
So I think what
But yeah, Babu is
also
a man to watch because, by the way, I've been shocked.
Yeah.
He's been very quiet.
he's been very quiet.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very quiet.
Acha nikwambie kuna jamaa alienda ICC juu ya watu walichoma kwa kanisa na akashinda kura.
Akawa president. Yeah.
Wewe kuna mtu alishoot DJ kwa club ndo watu
Let it be known. And some of the people who suffered, who lost land or whatever, voted for that guy.
So I think
ile Evolve ni nyinyi ndo ukasirika tu. Hata Evolve mwenyewe hajakasirikia Babu.
so now I think the problem that we also have in Kenya is that the so-called good people, or the people who are clean, the people who have the aptitude to be able to take us to a different place, they are refusing to learn politics, and I don't know why.
Like?
So an example is people like Ekuru Okot. At some point, he threw himself, like with his Third Way Alliance to run for presidency.
Yes.
I think that was in 2017. But then the problem that I have with a lot of these...
I thought he ran in 2022.
These formations, I don't know they ran in 2022.
Yeah, he ran in 2022.
I doubt it. Confirm that. I doubt he ran in 2022.
Yeah.
But I think the problem I have is that a lot of these groups pick up the activity close to an election. So when you lose an election, you're supposed to build momentum from there and keep growing.
Like Jill Stein,
Exactly. So like Jill Stein.
Peter Kenneth.
Yes, Peter Kenneth. You just show up during an election, and then after that, you disappear.
You go and teach, you go do your
you
thing.
go do your business or whatever. You go make
Utasahau
your media
ndika.
rounds. Yeah. So there's no one who wants to build something sustainable. Now, the person who has something close to that is Okia. But already, from the moment he announced that he's creating an exploratory committee to run for president in 2027, I've not seen activity towards that, because you have to fundraise, you have to build momentum. You cannot
wanapiga campaign Twitter hao.
Yeah.
Wanapiga Twitter huko wanakutananga wanaongea. They actually post photos wameenda sijui pamoja kufanya nini, but then the thing is campaign yao iko Twitter.
Yeah.
Like
You can't win. You can't win a Kenyan election on Twitter. You need a whole machinery, even if not to win, but at least to get enough votes to demand, or rather to have a runoff. So that's a problem. People are refusing to learn politics. Ona Sam to kama Salasia, and me, I've learned over time to stay away from my emotions. You see, Salasia, by any average diasporan, he looks like someone who's very rough on the edges.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that's not how the Kenyan voter votes.
But that's not how that's
the
that's
ground.
not how,
On
that's
the
not,
ground?
yeah.
Aish.
That guy, apparently people from his locality, they love him.
What? And you see, and you see it. You actually see it.
Yeah.
You see his
Mnakumbuka-
work.
Watu wa Mumias wanampenda.
Mnakumbuka Mbuvi?
Yes,
Mbuvi?
yes.
When he was running huko in Mada.
Makadara.
Yes. When he was running.
Yeah.
It didn't matter how he looked or whatever.
No.
What took our ground, us giving out our emotions, talking about how Mazeu, there's no seriousness, there's career, how can you this? But you see, the thing is,
How can he give unga?
Dombolo tells us, watu mnafikiria mkiapa, you have a shelter,
Yes,
you
correct.
you have everything. But uko umse amekuja ameletea wamama,
Unga.
not even that, umbrellas.
Yes,
Kwa
it
sababu
was umbrellas.
wanajua.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The ones who are selling.
Mavijana wa
yes.
kuosha magari wanaletewa maji fresh. What's gonna make those people
Not
vote for Jimmy
So
Wanjigi
I think
instead of Sonko?
I
Just
think
giving an example.
there's a very big disconnect